And I'm CP, and welcome back to our E3 discussion 2017. Alright, so the next one on the list is Sony. So, I'll be real, and I'm gonna maybe sound like a Sony pony a little bit, but I really like this one, honestly. I thought this one was cool. I know that the general perception is that it was a little bit boring, but I don't know, I feel like it was just, like, mainly games, you know? Like, there was a lot of focus on the games themselves.
There was a lot there. I thought it was interesting how they started with, music and drama. And that's when I started really noticing. It was actually the first thing I watched from the weekend and the week. But that was when I started noticing that everything is about experience and creating an interactive experience for our users and stuff like that, and kind of showing what the philosophy is, not just with Sony but with Microsoft as well, and all the developers. And so I thought that kind of came through into the dramatic presentation, the props and the different screens and the moving things on the stage, and later on some of the things that show up on stage and all that stuff.
Yeah. The performances were cool enough. I almost felt like it was a little too much. And I can definitely forgive people if they felt like it was too much.
Yeah, I don't really go in for that kind of thing.
Because
cheese factor.
My
cheese threshold is low.
At the very least, it related to it. There have been points where, in E3 where we've had shows like that that have not related to anything, and sometimes they've been cool and sometimes they've been garbage and really cringy, or sometimes they've just straight up been advertisements. Remember Shake Hydro? Anyone
on the car from Microsoft?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we forgot about that too.
Yeah. Well, that's every year. There's somebody who shows off a car. And I never like it.
I'm waiting for Nintendo to show off the Pikachu reveal.
For the first time in history, a flagship supercar is making its world debut here at E3 in front of you. This is not only the most aggressive expression of Porsche's legendary design, it features the most powerful road-going 911 engine ever made. Like the Xbox One X, it's a monster.
There were a lot of games, like I said. I will say, though, disappointing that there was a lack of The Last of Us. Like, why was there a lack of The Last of Us? All you needed to show was a trailer. That's all you needed. So I don't know why they didn't do that.
Think about it this way. If they're taking the time to make it as good as they can.
Yeah, but that is what I'm saying. I'm not upset about it being if it ends up getting delayed, whatever. I'm saying it should have been at E3.
It should have been something there.
Yeah, they just should have said okay, we're working on it. Here's a scene. Here's something to remind you that this is a thing. I don't know why they didn't do that. I thought it was a real big miss, especially because they had a whole bunch of time for VR. That was the thing. Like, I started off with the conference just being like, oh man, I'm having fun. I'm really enjoying this. There's a lot of stuff and not a whole lot of talking. It was pretty much just game after game after game with not a whole lot of people coming out and being like, and here's our philosophy, and we at Sony value you as the customer. There was very little of that. It was like 12 minutes before anybody even walked out on stage. So points for that from me anyway. There was a huge emphasis on VR later on in that, and I was like, that's when I went down. That's when I started. That's when I was like, oh my gosh, I just want this to be over, because I did not care about any of the VR stuff. Showed. Except there was one thing. Was Transference showed at the Sony one, or was that at Ubisoft?
I think that was.
So,
I don't know.
Oh, it was Ubisoft. Yeah. Okay. Well, in that case, there really wasn't anything in the VR in that whole VR segment that I cared about.
I found the mouse game cute.
It was cute, but
why is it VR?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I'm sitting here and I'm like, I would actually almost want to play that. I like the design of the little character.
Yeah.
But why is it on VR?
Again, like with the Bethesda segment that they had with VR, I think it's good that we're showing the embrace and that they're going to keep pushing it. I assume that means that things are going well in that vein.
Well, it means.
But again, there wasn't anything I was particularly interested in.
It means they have a lot kind of staked in it, because the whole PS4 VR thing, whatever that thing's called. I'm afraid that that's going to go the route of the Vita, because let's be real, the Vita's dead.
They didn't mention anything for Vita.
Yeah, well, they wouldn't have. The Vita's dead. I think that that it might go that route if they don't get people's attention soon with it. And I didn't see anything that was like, oh yeah, this does get my attention for PS4 VR. Yeah, no, I'm not rushing out to buy PS4 VR. So that was definitely the biggest low point of the console for me, and it definitely, knocks it down a few notches. I still think that it had a lot of interesting games. Days Gone, Detroit, Become Human, God of War. This just kind of goes on from there. There's a lot of games that I was at. Like, pretty much every game that they showed, more or less, I was actually interested in. And most of them are going to be ones that are, like, on PC and everything else, too. But I was actually genuinely interested in those stuff that they were showing. So, points there for me. And how'd you guys feel in that department?
I was watching for things that made me feel like, ooh, I just gotta have it, but there really wasn't much there for me. I'm kind of in a different place, I think, than what you guys play. So yeah, nothing really hit.
Yeah, you?
God of War looks interesting. I never played any of the original God of War games. I wanted to.
Yeah.
But this one, it seems interesting. I like the whole child aspect that they are bringing to it.
Yeah, I like the idea of like a softer Kratos.
Yeah.
And like a father.
You got to do something with the character.
Days Gone.
Days Gone looks. I think that Days Gone looks really, really interesting.
Looks like it's up your alley because you like zombie stuff. So.
Well, yeah.
I'll say this. So we'll talk more about this a bit later. They ended with Spider-Man. And some people were really criticizing Spider-Man.
That was an odd choice in a
way. Really? I thought it was really cool.
It made sense because it's the biggest brand out there. But
I thought the game itself actually looked cool.
It did look cool.
Yeah, I love how Spider-Man moves, how all the action.
The Spider-Man games have always been fun to play.
People were criticizing. People were criticizing it for like, oh, we think it's gonna have like, a lot of QTEs. And it probably will have a good amount of them. But Days Gone, I didn't see anything in Days Gone that didn't look like some kind of QTE to me. Or like just an interaction, like, trigger a cutscene, little mini cutscene kind of. My point is that, like, if anything should get criticized for having a lot of QTEs, it should be Days Gone, based off what we've seen anyway.
Yeah,
I haven't seen anything else besides that. So we'll see what happens with that. But either way, a lot of cool stuff, a lot of stuff I was actually interested in. What'd you guys think of, like, the people hanging from the roof?
That was funny. Again,
not in a good way for you,
quick,
right?
Yeah, it just quickly goes over the top for me.
I didn't even notice them until someone pointed out to me.
Actually, yeah, I was sitting there and I didn't see it because it was like kind of off screen. But like it almost looked like it kind of happened while it and then as it was happening, they cut away to try and show you.
Yeah.
And it was like in the corner. Yeah, it was like in the corner.
Yeah. But I did like the opening one with all the music.
Yeah, that was a cool little thing.
I don't know. I like this. I just like.
I think you're just excited for Assassin's Creed.
Well, yeah, I'm excited because it's gonna be in that coming. Like I said.
Yeah. So like anything that makes you think Assassin's Creed is gonna be cool to you.
I guess.
I don't know, dude. I enjoyed this one. I thought it ended pretty strong with Spider-Man. Spider-Man looks cool to me.
Yeah. That one has had my eyes since I first saw it.
Still though, I don't know. There was something about it though this time. Like I enjoyed it and I had fun with it and I liked it, but there was just this weird thing about it. There was something in the air, I guess, for it. That sounds like such a lame criticism, but I even noticed that the people, the audience in that one were just not interacting. Although, here's something: Shadow of the Colossus.
Oh yeah, that looks so cool.
Nice.
That's gonna be cool.
I never played the original either.
I've seen
everybody's seen it. Everybody likes it. Everybody wants it. No one's actually played it. So it's a good move on their part to bring it to PS4.
I think I'm personally excited for it. I love the sheer size of all the monsters in the game. I just think that's gonna be cool.
Yeah, it's supposed to be one of those landmarks for video games. So to see it kind of come and okay, now we have this awesome technology that can keep up with the premise. Let's do that. Definitely got to mention Detroit Become Human. That's one of those ones that's just kind of you're gonna be split down the middle with that one.
Yeah, I liked the premise. I think about that kind of thing a lot, and I always like plots, movies, stories, books, whatever. That have to do with AI and clones and cyborgs
The
and
idea
just
of
all
like
that
another
kind of
race
stuff.
of
Yeah.
people kind of coming from that.
This is a night our people will remember. My name is Marcus, and just like you, I was a slave. But then I chose to open my eyes, to take back my freedom, and decide who I wanted to be. Now I have come to tell you that you can be your own masters.
We're with you! I'll follow you, Marcus!
I'm with you, Marcus.
I'll follow you, Marcus!
Yeah, so I like the I like the premise.
Yeah.
So I was interested in that.
How do you like? That's David Cage, right? Who makes like who was it that made like Heavy Rain and all that?
Right, David Cage.
Okay, so yeah, see those David Cage games are. Thank you, Emily. Those David Cage games are definitely like polarizing. You either love them or you hate them. People criticize them for being too much like movies and not enough like video games. So naturally, Detroit Become Human is going to be like, you know, worrisome for some people, and like the kind of thing that's just not going to interest some people. But for me, it looks cool, and it's one of my big takeaways, and I'm excited for it. So
If it has any glitches like Heavy Rain did, that will make me happy.
you want it to have problems?
Well, like there's this one glitch in Heavy Rain where the like at the most climactic part of the game, you can make the characters keep on shouting Jason.
You're the father that I have been looking for all these years. The man capable of giving his own life to save his son.
You got what you...
Even during when he's not supposed to, he's talking.
Gotcha.
It's hilarious.
So overall, I think it ended up being a pretty strong conference for me. I'm gonna give my rating. I'm also gonna give this one a 7. Like I had given Ubisoft a 7, and I'm gonna give this one a 7 too. I wanted to give it an 8, but I just really felt like this one. There was just something in the air about it for me. I know that's a really lame kind of criticism. It's not even really a criticism. It's just sort of a thing, a weird bias, I guess. But I just think that but I still think it was a strong conference overall. It had like every other game that they talked about, like I said, interested me. And there wasn't a whole lot of like people in suits coming out and talking to you about why they're so awesome. So
Boring stuff.
yeah, so I'm okay with that, and that gets points. So yeah, 7 overall.
Okay. I think I'd go with the 7 too. I'm not with PlayStation 4 at all right now, so anything that's exclusive I can appreciate from a distance, but it's not gonna it's not gonna matter too much to me. So in general, the PlayStation stuff doesn't really have much of an impact. But the presentation was solid. You know, seeing you guys as PlayStation owners feeling satisfied, that tells me that they did their job. So
Yeah, there you go. That's a good point.
This conference is actually on par with Ubisoft, so I'm gonna have to give it A as well. The games that I saw, again, I was satisfied with the games that I saw.
That's what it comes down to in the end.
Yeah,
Cool games.
It's all
are
about.
we hyped or not?
Yeah,
It's
lots of cool games, and none of them felt like they were cheap or going to be disappointing. So
It all comes down to the games.
So those are our thoughts on the Sony conference, and that's going to wrap it up for this video. Just join us for the next one. Then we're going to talk Nintendo, and that'll almost do it for our 2017 E3 discussion.
Until then, I'm TJ.
I'm JP.
And I'm CP, and we'll see you next time.
How's your